If the stars were made to worship, so will I.
Welcome to your reading from Musings of a Christian Physician on the Physical and Spiritual Healing of Man by Dr. Joseph DeMay. Today's reading is from week 47, day 3. First thing this morning, let's look at why Peter needed to be restored to a proper relationship with Jesus Christ. Although I would point out that restore may not be the best term, since Peter's prior revelation of the Lordship of Jesus Christ was Peter-centric, not Christ-centric. I would call it the transformation of Peter, resulting in something much more powerful and liberating than what he had before. Having arrested him, they led him and brought him into the high priest's office. But Peter followed at a distance. And a certain servant girl, seeing him as he sat by the fire, looking intently, attenzio, at him, and said, "This man was also with him." But he denied him, saying, "Woman, I do not know him." And another saw him and said, "You are also one of them." But Peter said, "Man, I am not." Then another confidently affirmed, saying, "Surely this fellow also was with him, for he is a Galilean." But Peter said, "Man, I do not know what you're saying." Immediately, while he was speaking, the rooster crowed. And the Lord turned and looked, emblipo, at Peter. So Peter went out and wept bitterly. Luke 22:54 through 62. Man, the visual imagery in this is moving. Note that Peter comes under the scrutiny of two entities, the accusers of the Lord, the accusers and the Lord. There are two different verbs used. You know how much I like using the Strong's Concordance to get a fuller picture of the intended meaning, so here we go. Strong's Concordance 816. Atenizo, to look steadfastly and earnestly. This is the verb used to describe how the servant girl was scrutinizing Peter, because as a Galilean, he would have appeared a bit different and would have had an accent. And they were in Jerusalem, not Galilee. She was looking very closely and intently at his physical characteristics, and figuring that if he was a Galilean, he must be associated with Jesus, who was also one. Strong 1689. Emblipo, to stare at, look with, locked in gaze, a penetrating look. This is how Jesus looked at Peter. Do you see how much using the actual Greek verb adds to the meaning? This was no casual glance. This was a soul-penetrating, piercing stare, and it shook Peter to his core. And it had to. Peter had to be transformed from the inside out. We'll examine that tomorrow.